I mean, there's a lot of things. I think the main thing was that I didn't play very well. I mean, that was the main thing that I looked at it. There was times in the pocket where I should have scrambled out, should have made a play. Sometimes I was drifting in the pocket where it caused me to get sacked, where it wasn't the offensive line's fault, where it was my fault, where I drifted out of the pocket and caused the DN to have a wide open lane on me, where the tackle was protecting me to be stable in the pocket, but I drifted outside of the pocket. And there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, I missed receivers, wide open receivers on some routes, overthrew them. Uh, there's a lot of stuff that stuck out from film, but it's a challenge. But I'm always up for a challenge and just ready to get back at it at week 2.
Yeah, after a game like that, how ready are you to get back out, put up,
Oh yeah,
play against somebody else and kind of get that one out of your
definitely.
system?
I mean, definitely. Going off week 1, that's definitely not what you want to come out for your first game, and I'm definitely disappointed, but I'm definitely eager. Always ready for a challenge. I'm just ready to go for week 2. Ready to get back into a game plan, ready to get back into it, ready to get back to practice, ready to go back and fix mistakes, ready to come back in week 2, be able to come out and perfect those mistakes.
When the offense as a whole, not just you, but everybody,
Hmm.
hasn't shared success against a top-notch defense
Hmm.
on these practice fields, and you probably go in optimistic you're going to be able to score. How hard is it to sort of see something otherwise happen?
It's definitely difficult, going into the game. I mean, you don't see yourself scoring 3 points as an offense, going out there and putting up 3 points. But, I mean, it was hats off to Georgia. They had a great defense, and it was a tough night that night, But going back in this week, I know everyone's coming up ready to go for this week and come into a different mindset, and just ready to go for week 2.
DJ, how confident are you that you will play better than before?
For me, I think I'm very confident. Last week I didn't play very well, and it showed. And I know I just want to come out this week, continue to stay focused, focus on the details and the little things, and just control what I control. And just continue to trust the process, what God has for me. God never says "oops." So last week, I mean, He always has a plan for me. So I just want to continue to trust God's process, what He has for me, and just continue to keep working.
What are some of those details, those little things that you saw
Uh,
offensively?
oh, like the details and
Yeah,
little
when you went
things.
and watched it. Yeah.
I mean, shoot, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, when I was talking about, there's a couple times should have left the pocket, getting sacked. A couple times had a couple missed reads on certain throws, missed a couple receivers. And there's a lot of things. You watching film, you look at it, you're like, wow, I could have done this different, could have done that different, and it would have changed the outcome of the game. But I think for the most overall things is I just got to play better.
Not to take anything away from Georgia, but did you feel like there were some plays there where, like, when you watch back on film, you're like, man, that could have been a really big play and completely flipped things.
100%. Every time you play a game like that, every time you play a game in general, you go back, you see those plays like, wow, if I would have done this thing differently, if we would have done that, if I would have made this throw, if I would have done that differently, it would have changed the outcome of the game, or we could have kept the drive going, or if we didn't get this penalty, this thing would happen. So, yeah, you always look at games like that. You always see something like that.
Tony said that the two snap issues are maybe a little reminiscent of what he saw in camp. So what did you, from your perspective on those two, what did you see?
I know the one great. The one of them I had was on third down, dropped the snap, took my eyes off the ball, kind of careless with it. Just kind of just took my eyes off. I thought I had the snap and I just dropped it, plain as that. And I think that's what happened with the second one too as well. Yes, ma'am.
DJ, do you think maybe it's a good thing that this happened first and that you didn't play Georgia 2 or 3 weeks down the road where you maybe had a more of a false sense of what you could do?
I mean, I think so. I guess so. I guess you could say that. But I mean, I'm definitely glad we played Georgia week 1. Would have never took this. Would have never said rather play another team. I mean, we played a top caliber opponent. Played a college football playoff game. We played against Georgia. I mean, they're a top 5 team. I mean, had a great defense, great offense. And for us, I mean, that's what you want to play. You want to play in those tough games where it's going to get you ready for the regular season. So, I know as a whole, as an offense, we're ready to go, ready to prepare, ready to keep going. I mean, we have 11 weeks left for the regular season, and hopefully, whatever we have on behind that, we'll be ready to go.
Maybe some comfort going forward knowing that you can try to fix things against people other than Georgia, though.
Definitely, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In post game, you didn't blame your offensive line, you didn't blame the wide receivers, you didn't blame the running backs, you took the blame for everything.
Sir.
Why?
For me, I think for me it starts off with the quarterback, and I felt like that as me as the quarterback, as a leader of the team, that as a leader of the offense, I didn't play very well. So as off of that, that a lot of people that feed off of the quarterback. If the quarterback's playing well, then most likely the offensive line, that everyone else is going to rally around the quarterback. And when your quarterback's not playing well, it's really hard to rally around that. Really hard to rally around the quarterback if he's not playing well. And I felt like that for me, I got like Coach Sweeney said that best players have to play in their best in the big game. So for me, I didn't play my best, and I know that. But I'm ready for a challenge. I'm ready to get back at it week 2, ready to prepare, ready to come back out with a different attitude, and ready to play.
Did you say anything in the locker room to the guys after the game on the way home?
We all had a conversation. We all talked about Coach Sweeney. There's a bunch of stuff, but there's a lot of things we were saying it. But at the end of the day, we know we got to get better. That was the main thing. That we got to watch the film. There's gonna be a lot of stuff to watch. We know what we have to do. We know we have to get better. We're just ready to apply that.
DJ, was there anything Georgia was doing in coverage that was making it hard for the receivers, I guess on some of the option routes to try to figure out
hmm
kind of how to read that stuff?
Uh, I think it's just a lot of. I think the most part is just miscommunication. That we got. There's some things we had to clear up. We got to clear up coming into this week, and we just got to get better at. I think that. It wasn't. Georgia did. Hats off to Georgia. Had a great game plan. Did a really well job on defense. Corners did amazing. D line, linebackers had a really well defense. But I think the thing is that I felt we beat ourselves, and I think that's what it. That was the main thing. That if we don't beat ourselves, it's a different ball game. That we're on target with each other. We're on the same. We're on the same connection. That if we know exactly what we need to do from a game plan standpoint, that would be perfectly fine.
How much did you work with Justin? I know he practiced a little bit last year and
Sir.
some during the preseason. Had y'all
hmm
work on some of that stuff before he was cleared in fall camp, or was that kind of
No,
something?
yeah, we had work. We've done routes on air with him and stuff like that, one-on-ones and stuff like that before he's gotten cleared. So no, we've definitely had some work. But I mean, I think it's his first game coming back. It's big. It was just. It's just a lot. I think that we'll be able to get. We'll be able to get everything settled in together, and we'll be perfectly fine going out through the season.
What can you tell us about your connection with Ngata and how
Yes,
he
sir.
played?
I think Joseph Ngata, he played amazing. He had an amazing game. I think he had over 100 yards. He made some big catches. He had a great catch and run. I know one of the corner routes he had. He had a great one. He had another one on another sideline. Great catch. He had a really well game. Caught a lot of balls in traffic. Played real physical. I know he had an amazing game. I'm really proud of him.
He kind of give you a little bit of comfort with it, knowing that he was out there doing what he was doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%. Joe, you know what you're gonna get from Joe. He's a competitor. He's a baller when the game time comes on. I think that goes for a lot of our receivers too. So, I'm super happy what he did, and then I have a lot of confidence in all the other receivers too that they'll be able to do that as well.
How big of a loss or an absence is EJ right now in this offense?
EJ, he's big. He's a special player, special playmaker. Huge part of our offense. We're definitely going to be missing for the couple weeks, but I know there's a lot of other receivers on the team that'll be able to step up and be able to feel his presence. So I think we'll be perfectly fine.
Tony said that the plan would be to move Bo into the slot. Just what do we need to know about Bo and the way you guys have obviously had a history together?
Bo, he's a competitor. He's a gamer. He's going to practice really hard. A very, very smart player as well as a receiver. He knows the game very well. Knows from a coverage standpoint, knowing what he needs to do. He runs some really crisp routes, and I know he'll be ready to go this weekend if that's what Coach Elliott wants to do.
Coach, about one of the big things, kind of, they wish they would have gotten the run game going a little more. How comfortable are you kind of getting involved in that, taking offensive opportunities?
hmm I'm perfectly fine with doing whatever I need to do, running the ball wise. So if that's what we need to do, if Coach Elliott wants to do, then I'm perfectly fine with running the ball 100 times a game.
Coach Elliott was saying social media has been a little rough on him.
hmm
Do you turn it off or do you look at it after a game like this?
For me, I look at social media. I look at it a little bit, look at it here and there. I see the comments and stuff like that. But for me, it's kind of like when you play good. You don't want to look at the social media or pay too much attention to it when you play good because you want your head to get big. And then again, when you lose, you don't want to look at it too much to where it's going to put you down. But as overall, that I know God has a plan for me. That my main word of the year was trust. So I'm gonna trust His plan. He never says oops. God has a plan. He always has a plan in mind. So whatever is part of His journey, and I'm gonna continue to trust His path, what He has for me. So just continue to keep fighting, just keep following His path.
Tony said he was good with the decision to make RPO games. What did you think of your overall ability to
I thought he did a pretty good job processing each play on an RPO standpoint. I thought he did a pretty good job. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions here? Any questions on Zoom for DJ?
Hey DJ, it's Trevor from StevePackers.com. You did such a good job in your previous start at Notre Dame, set an all-time passing record there in South Bend. Was Georgia's pass rush just that much faster? Was their coverage better? Or do you attribute some of the difference just being the opening game and not having it?
I think Georgia. I think they're a great defense. So I would definitely say they have a great defensive line, great linebackers, great secondary. But I felt like that. I don't think there was very much of a difference between Notre Dame and the Georgia game. That I just felt like I just didn't play very well this game. I think it just comes to the bottom line that I just didn't play well. I think that was the main. I think that was the main outcome.
Anything else?
Coach, when you said last night that you were the first person in the building yesterday, how much of that Georgia game will serve as motivation for you going forward?
Oh, it's gonna be huge motivation. For me, competitor. I don't want that to ever happen again. So I want to be able to learn from my mistakes and put that in the past and just continue to learn from that. But just have that as a learning point and just continue to grow from that. Learn from my mistakes from that game, and just ready to get after these next couple of weeks. Get ready after against South Carolina State. Just ready to come out there in this field and show the improvements I'm ready to make.
Anything else on Zoom? All right, thanks everyone.